Hello, welcome to Little Mochi-Ya. In today's video, I'm going to do a big project, which is to swatch and archive all my Kobe inks. And I'll briefly show you my ink archive system. So if you're interested, please continue watching. Okay, so the next ink I'm going to show is the Ginza Gold Sepia. This one, I think it's a collaboration with Itoya, so it even showed the I think it's like a historical photo of the Itoya shop, stationery shop in Tokyo. And I'm sorry if you can hear outside noise. Turns out today is a warmer day, so everyone start mowing their lawns. This Ginza sepia, well, gold sepia, it doesn't really have a gold, say yellow tone coming through. It's more, if anything, it's more bronze. I think later on when it dries, you will be able to see some green tone. Yeah, it's definitely showing the green from the figure 8. Ginza Gold Sepia is also a very popular ink, and it's definitely showing more green tone than the bitter chocolate, so I guess it's more popular just because it's a collaboration with Itoya, and it's a legible everyday ink, so yeah, it's more for daily use than just ink swatching. Yep, this is also a very wet ink. I think I will pair it with another very dry sailor pen that I have to see if it can solve the flow issue. Yep, so this is Kobe ink Ginza Gold Sepia. The next ink I'm gonna show is the Yuhobika Blue. This one is one of, I think, my first Kobe ink, and I will say it's the one with most fun. I believe this one is like a collaboration with the Kobe aquarium, maybe, just judging by all the drawings of like jellyfish, birds, yeah, octopus, the fish, the whale. It's just very nicely designed, and the turtle. Yeah, so everything of this ink is just so full of little surprises and little details, which I really like. The ink itself is also fun. You will see it really quick. Yep, so it's this nice vibrant blue, and it's got a very nice red sheen, purple red sheen to it. So because it's a sheening ink, it will be a little thicker. Because Kobe inks are so well behaved, I wouldn't be very concerned with the flow. They're just too trustworthy. Yep. And from my figure 8, I don't know if you can tell the difference, but it's definitely smoother. So I think this Yuhopika blue is I don't know if drier is the correct word, but you might need a wetter pen to pair with it. So I wouldn't pair this with, say, my fine nib Japanese fountain pens. So maybe Pilot can handle it. I'm sure if I pair it with my Pelican and my Mont Blanc, it will write like a tree. Yep, so I think from the swatch you can already see the difference and what's on the paper. So on the paper, I think it's more teal than blue. It has this kind of vintage looking yellowish tone to it. Yep, it's definitely thicker. And this is Kobe ink Yuhopika blue. The last ink of today is Kobe ink Kitano Antique Sepia. Ooh. This one is deep. Okay, but as it gets thinner, it's more brown than bitter chocolate. Yeah, bitter chocolate can almost pass for black, and this one still has the brown character to it. And this one is also thicker compared to bitter chocolate. So yeah, you might want to pair it with a wetter pen. This looks so much like bitter chocolate though. It's so nice. I wonder if I pair it with my Pilot capless matte black. Okay, so this is Kobe ink Kitano Antique Sepia. Okay, so now all the inks are dried. Let's have a look at all the Kobe inks I have. The first thing I noticed is that the Kitano Antique Sepia and the bitter chocolate are very similar. Antique Sepia writes a little thicker than bitter chocolate, but just a little. You can also tell that Antique Sepia is a lot smoother. So yes, I will definitely pair Antique Sepia with a wetter pen, and bitter chocolate you can pair with extra fine or fine Japanese fountain pens. The Ginza Gold Sepia, after it dries, you can definitely see the green tone coming through. So this is more like a khaki. in my opinion, than brown or sepia. Chapo oak, we can see a bit more warm, red, say orange tone rather than the yellow tone before. This one is very nice and very, I will say, legible. So I really like Chapo oak. And Yuhopika blue, that's the red sheen. I think I have a close one with Teranishi, so I'll show you in a little. Elements, my favorite so far, and yeah, the milk chocolate and the strawberry chocolate, they're both, especially the milk chocolate. Now you can definitely see the pink tone underneath, and strawberry chocolate is, you can definitely tell why it's the most popular ink. And I love them both. I really love them both. I can't really choose which one that I am going to use for the rest of my life if I have to. And I will say this one is more cool toned and this one is more warm toned. So it really depends on the pen that you're going to use it with. And I just love them both. Minatokawa lime green. This one is also one of the most popular inks with Nagasawa Kobe ink. People said that you can see a silver sheen. I can't really find it. And I wonder if it's because of the Tomoya River paper that I'm using, because it's 52 GSM, it's quite thin. Maybe that's the reason that it wouldn't show any of the silver sheen. But I personally just really like this lively green, and it's not too bright in your face, so you can definitely write with this one. Okay, so now let's have a quick comparison with my existing ink archive. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I think the Yuhopika blue is kind of similar to the Teranishi melancholic blue. When you put them side by side, it's quite close, but I think Yuhopika blue just has a little bit more yellow tone to it. And yeah, and the melancholic blue is more green than yellow, but they both have the red sheen. So I like them both. The element is similar to the, but I think Celadon Cat has more of a dual shading than Element. Element has shading, but not like dual tone. So in this case, I think Celadon Cat, it's more fun. But in terms of legible, I think Element will be more legible because it writes a little bit more blue. Chapo Oak, it's not the same as Bark. So Bark is a lot darker. It writes a lot darker, and it has this green, silverish green sheen, and Chapo Oak is just I don't see any sheening. 150 years espresso. Oh, yep, it's very close. I will say bitter chocolate when it comes to the lighter side of espresso. It's closer to bitter chocolate. So if you ink it up in a finer pen, I think it will write lighter than espresso. And espresso has a silver sheen that's not showing on either of these Kobe inks. Kitano Antique Sepia, it writes darker than espresso. I think that's because the ink itself is smoother, so it's thicker than the espresso and bitter chocolate. But I think once I start talking about say it writes differently, or the shading is different, or sheening, I think these inks are close enough. So it's my fault that I didn't study well enough before I purchased these inks, and now you know. These three inks are quite similar. If you're not a collector, then I'll say just get one. And in this case, yeah, I think Diamine Espresso is definitely better value. But if you're like me, who wants to collect a lot of Kobe inks, then yeah, get these two. These two are good performing inks anyway. Okay, so here is my ink archive. I'm using a Fellofax personal size. This one is Norfolk. Because of the big ring, I can store a lot of inserts in this. And I just use some generic tabs on the side to show the different brands or different collections of the same brand. And as you can see, I have a lot of Sailor inks that I am so putting off swatching all of them because that's just so much. For this batch of Kobe ink, they all bled through. So some are worse than the others. So for example, this Yuhopika Blue didn't bleed as much as the Minatogawa Lime Green. This one definitely bled through a lot. Milk chocolate did, and bitter chocolate definitely. Yep. So I think the reason why I am mentioning this, oh, and by the way, these big drops of ink, they feathered and they bled through. Oh, so okay, so Kitano Antique Sepia is not as dry as I thought. So maybe I'll try pairing it with Pilot Fine or Extra Fine and see how it goes. So with my current stock of Tomoe River paper, this is the 52 GSM paper. Because they're so thin, so when I do ink swatches, they bleed through and they feather a lot. But that's just with the ink swatch. If you're just writing it normally with a fountain pen or even a dip pen, it goes, yes, but it doesn't bleed through, or it doesn't feather, so it's still performing pretty well with Tomoe River paper. Yep, so this is my ink archive system with all these different brands, and some brands I didn't really have time to swatch. I'll try my best to see if I can somehow squeeze those in, because especially with Sailor, with Robert Oster, and with Ferris Wheel Press. Yep, and yeah, so this is my Robert Oster. You can see a long list, but no swatch. And Ferris Wheel Press is the same. Long list, no swatch. So I don't know if I will manage to squeeze those in. I might, or I'll just show you a finished archive once I'm done with them. But anyway, so thank you for watching this ink swatching and archiving video today. And if you would like to share anything, please go ahead and comment. If you would like more of this content, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.